Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is Tyler here, bringing you some more Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 gameplay today. That is right. We'll be having some ranked play today. Probably just one game as I talk over, the recap of Major 1 that just got finished up in Boston over the weekend, man. First major of the CDL this season. And hey, we predicted the winner correctly. We took the Toronto Ultra. I gave it out in the video last week, so if you followed me on that, it was not like it was a hard call. You kind of had to just go with them or phase. So, hey, I was right. So it was, nice first event to watch, man. There was definitely a lot of good Call of Duty and, a few upset surprises that a lot of people definitely did not see coming, including myself. Before we get into the recap and everything, I'll talk about the gameplay real quick. I will have a lot more ranked play videos coming up here soon, with a lot of, my progress getting up to the point of the game you're seeing right now. This is actually one of my most recent games. Just randomly hopped in solo queue and ended up with a hard point on terminal. So it went pretty well, and figured I'd, use this gameplay and just let it play out and whatnot. Not going to cut anything. And once we're done, talking about the major, I'll leave you with, the rest of the gameplay and whatnot. And I was just in a party with a couple of my buddies that were playing a completely other game. So we were just chilling, whatever. And I was just out there frying. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and get into it. Recapping Major 1 in Boston. Your winners, Toronto Ultra. Winners round 1. We start off hot, man. FaZe with the 3-0 victory. We got that right. We got the Optic victory right. We had them 3-1, though. They got the 3-0. We were correct with the Ultra 3-0 over Surge. Surge hasn't been getting any practice, any scrims, no warm-ups because, of course, they're breaking hell of GAs left and right. And it seemed like they did another one during this major, but I'm not sure if I would call it a snake with Hook. It was very close, but I think he was kind of just finessing, and I think he went down on the third pump, but whatever. Regardless, who cares? It's whatever. I do care, but about that specific one, it's the way of the road. It's kind of funny. I don't know if you followed me on Twitter or not. Link in the description. As always, go follow me over there. I always give updates and whatnot during these matches on, how I'm feeling and whatnot. And I actually tweeted on that next day when Seattle went to play Boston that they would win 3-2 because of his GA. And they didn't win because of a GA, but they did, break one in a map that they actually lost. And they still went on to win the series. But it was just funny that I kind of called that they would have some sort of cheese happen in that series and go on to eventually win that series. And they do. We'll talk about that a little more when we drop down to that loser side. But yeah, man, the big surprise, of course, at the bottom of this here, our only loss in winners round 1 was with the subliners, man. Had them 3-1 over Rocker, and they ended up getting 3-0 body slam by Rocker, which was just very surprising. I'm sure everyone had subliners winning this matchup, and it wasn't even close, man. They got smoked. So I don't know if there's some cheese going on with them too. Maybe one or two of their players is using sound EQ for them online matches, because they were much, much different online, man. They were very tough to beat, looking very solid, of course, just, a lot more even with, the top couple teams. But everyone else, they were destroying. And then they come out on land and get absolutely mollywopped. We'll go ahead and drop down to the loser side. I'll be throwing up the screenshots and whatnot of my bracket, throughout the video and whatnot. But looking at the loser side, this is where things got pretty chaotic. Things got out of control, man. We'll just finish off New York there. They drop down after that 3-0, and then they play Carolina, and they lose to them 3-1. Absolutely insane. Carolina with a couple roster changes over the last couple of weeks before, hitting this major at LAN in Boston. And they've looked much, much better in a short amount of time. Very quick turnaround for them. And, they are able to get a win here in losers round 1, 3-1 over New York. That's just insane to see New York get top 12 here in the first event. Definitely be interesting to see if they bounce back going forward. See what they, are able to do as a team, if they can regroup and whatnot. So also, that Boston series against Seattle, I still can't believe Seattle ended up winning that. And, in my bracket, of course, here I had Boston 3-2. But I did tweet out that day that I would go Seattle 3-2 if I could change it. But, with the bracket and the pick'ems, once it starts, the whole thing's locked, and you can't go change round by round. But for like betting purposes and whatnot, stuff like that, I still give out updated predictions and whatnot on Twitter each day before the matches and whatnot. So yeah, it was crazy. I called that Seattle would break a GA and end up winning the series 3-2. Like I said, it's not like breaking the GA with that snake was the difference in the series by any means. They lost the map in which they snaked, so it's whatever. But yeah, it's just the SNDs for Seattle look much better, and Boston thought they would come out stronger, starting losers at their home major, and they just bounce out top 12. So it'll be interesting to see if they make a move going forward. I definitely think that they will be picking up Kremp. Not sure who he will replace. I would guess Capsule, but I'm not completely sure. That'd be my guess. I mean, possibly in for Snoopy, but we'll see what they decide to do. I'd say probably for Capsule, which I'd like to see Capsule then get a shot on a different squad, but who knows? He'll probably get thrown into Challenger's Blunder. But yeah, on the top side of this losers bracket, of course, in round one, my one winner there in losers was LAG over LAT, the Battle of LA. Gorillas come out on top 3-1. We get the map count correct as well. And then Heretics had them with a bounce back victory over Vegas here, but instead they get body slammed 3-0. So they don't even win a map here at LAN. That's definitely not good to see, as they had been pretty impressive online. Not like super great by any means, but after the 3-0 over Optic, everyone was acting like Miami was insanely good, which I thought they were good too, but they definitely got, I think, a little too overhyped, and then they go to LAN here and get body slammed in both their matches. So definitely not a good look for them. We'll see if maybe they make a change or two going forward. Of course, Vehicle and Metals will probably be sticking there, and then you got to think maybe Journey gets swapped out for whether it's Eric Boom, or maybe they even try to give Real a shot, see if they can get him in there since he got the Visa cheese from Carolina. But yeah, definitely be interested to see how Miami bounces back going forward. And again, big win for Vegas there, as they get the 3-0 and they move on to play against LAG in losers round 2, where they lose 2-3. Reverse sweep fashion, man. Vegas loves getting reverse swept. I think that's the third time this season already that they've been reverse swept. But yeah, man, it's been kind of tough to watch for them. They just keep on throwing, but I did have Heretics beating Vegas, and I also had them beating LAG, so in my predictions it didn't really matter. But either way, it was a nice series, nice regain, and LAG come out on top, advanced into that losers round 3. The other losers round 2 matchup, of course, we have everything wrong at this point, so the predictions are kind of out the window. But it was a nice matchup between Seattle and Carolina, as Surge come out on top 3-2. Again, it's just their Search and Destroys are much better than the other bottom tier and mid tier teams, so they'll be able to come out with victories in these series, especially when they go to that map 5 Search. Of course, iLLeY and the boys are going to clutch up. I do want to say one thing real quick on the iLLeY situation and the whole, with his interviews and whatnot. Obviously, we all know that some people on Call of Duty take Adderall and play and whatnot. So, was he on it? Who knows? He says it was caffeine, whatever. Regardless of the situation, I think as a community, the people need to do better. It's just the way the chats were going in the live streams of the watch parties and whatnot. Just everyone with the pilly talk and whatnot. Like, I get it, man, but just say something once or twice and move on, man. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous how much people were spamming that stuff in chats. It's like, dude, we all get it. Just move on. Let's enjoy these Call of Duty matches. Like, even like hours after their match or hours after the interview, people would still be spamming that stuff. And it's like, man, let's hold it together. Let's contain ourselves, and we'll let him figure that stuff out for himself. And other than that, let's just try to enjoy this Call of Duty, man. That's pretty much all I'll say on it. Let's stop spamming all that stuff, and if the league takes care of something with that situation, then okay. But other than that, as a community, calm it down. For real, just calm it down. But alright, going back up in the winners, round 2 on Saturday, we had FaZe against Optic. I had this predicted at FaZe 3-2, and I was correct on that. Now, watching the series, Optic definitely should have won it. And, these predictions at the end of the day is for fun. And, of course, I would like to get them right and, place high because I think there is some prizes and stuff you can win. But either way, at the end of the day, I'm an Optic fan and would love to see Optic win. So was rooting for them even though I had FaZe in my predictions. And Optic probably should have won this map. They definitely kind of threw there. Getting Neslo'd, I mean, their hard points looked good, of course, but losing both searches and losing the control, can't have that happen, man. Especially that first search, he definitely threw a couple rounds. And, that'll happen, but you can't, let mistakes happen against a team like FaZe or a team like Toronto. He had those mistakes and whatnot against some of the lower tier teams or mid tier teams, and you'll be able to bounce back from that and, still win maps and series and whatnot. But against a team like FaZe, you literally can't have the mistakes. So, yeah, FaZe get the job done 3-2 to advance to the winners final. And then the other winners round 2 matchup, I had Ultra 3-1 over New York. Of course, New York had lost to Rocker, so we still get the points from the Ultra win. They 3-0 body slam the Rocker there to set up the FaZe and Toronto winners finals match, but we'll bounce back down to the losers now. As you see, Rocker drop down to play LAG, and that again a pretty dang good series, man. We saw a lot of good Call of Duty this weekend. It was nice to see, man. Lots of competitive series. Of course, there were still a few 3-0s in there and whatnot, but for the most part, it was a very nice event to watch. Lots of good gameplay out there, man. These series were some gruelers, so nice victory for the Rocker, 3-2. Securing top 4 for them, which I'm sure nobody could have guessed that. At that point, with New York out, I thought LAG would be the one to get through there. But nope, Rocker get the job done 3-2. And then in the other losers round 3 matchup, of course, Optic dropping down after the loss to FaZe. They go on to play Seattle, and they're able to get the job done 3-1. Probably should have been a 3-0 sweep. The insane blender against Seattle on that control invasion, man. I cannot believe they lost that one offensive round. I mean, if you were watching the Scump watch party, you probably were losing full like I was as they started clapping, cheering before it was over. And then literally with this tiniest sliver away from capping that point, they get contested, killed, and what do you know? They lose the round, then they get slammed on the next defensive round as well to lose that control, but nevertheless, they clean it up and get the job done in the next hard point to move on to losers round 4, where they would go on to beat Rocker 3-1 in a nice, convincing victory. Rocker able to get a map, of course, but Optic either way get the job done 3-1. Or was this the series when the control thing happened? Yeah, I'm faded. This is the series when the control thing happened. It was against Rocker. I think against Seattle they lost the control, right? Or the search. Yeah, my bad, folks. Yeah, my bad. That's definitely my fault. I was getting ahead of myself. The Surge series, Optic lost the Surge, which, again, I've mentioned a couple times. The Surge search is pretty dang good. It makes sense with iLLeY, man. So, not surprised there, but the blunder came against Rocker with the control and Scump clapping, all the boys getting hyped, thinking it was over, and yeah, they almost blew it, but able to regain and got it done in the hard point, thankfully. So they win that series 3-1 as well, as Optic then secure top 3. Rocker ends with the top 4 placing, which I'm sure they got to be happy with, because man, nobody could have thought that was going to happen for Minnesota there. Optic would then be waiting there in the losers finals, and then in winners finals, this is where I got my bracket wrong. I still got it right with having Toronto win, but I had Toronto losing here in winners finals to FaZe, and then I had Toronto dropping down and then winning in losers final to get the rematch and win. But either way, getting the Ultra winner at the end was nice. FaZe ended up losing this one 1-3. Ultra definitely looked dominant in that winners final, taking care of business. FaZe unable to, just match that slaying power. Scrap, Kleenex, all the boys were on point. Envoy with a lot of impact kills as well. So, yeah, it was just tough to beat Toronto this event, man. They looked absolutely amazing, even against FaZe, which obviously those are the top 2 teams. So, yeah. FaZe then drops down to losers final for a rematch with Optic, and It was a much more convincing victory this time for FaZe as they get the 3-1. Optic again, man, just disappointing. Definitely sucks to see them lose, man. Definitely as a fan would have loved to see them come out strong and win this first major. Would have definitely been surprised, especially with, not like they've been terrible online by any means, but just some struggles and whatnot, some inconsistencies. So to see them come out and land, and they ended up playing very, very well, I think. And I definitely think, going forward, they should be fine and are definitely shouldn't be out of that top 4 conversation at all. So yeah, FaZe go down and get that 3-1 victory to then get their rematch with Toronto in that grand finals, where we had Toronto winning at 4-2, which they went on to win 4-1. Very convincing fashion there. Ultra, your Major 1 champs. I gave that out as a bet as well on Twitter at 7-4 odds over there on Bet365, so I hope you tailed. I didn't go anything crazy on it or nothing, man. I'm just, having a little fun with betting CDL, and I like having fun with like the DraftKings daily fantasy lineups as well. I'd stick with that now because sometimes I would do that and switch back and forth between that and Prize Picks last season, but now in Michigan we can't do Prize Picks. Well, we still have it, but they took away the real money wagering with it, which I'm not sure why. It's kind of ridiculous, but we can play with like points or like coins or something. It's not real money, so it's kind of pointless for me. So I've just been, I work in Ohio, so I'm able to use Bet365 down there and bet on the CDL matches. So that's what I've been doing, and it's fun. So make sure you follow me on Twitter to get updates on that stuff. Just talking Call of Duty, and also just talking different stuff of going on in the community and different plans I have for videos coming out soon and whatnot. But yeah, man, that's gonna do it. Gonna go ahead and leave you with the rest of the gameplay here, man. Probably won't be a whole lot left. We talked for quite a long time. Actually, probably not a whole lot of gameplay left. I might have had to throw in a second game in there, actually. So either way, might be a little bit left here. Either way, I hope you enjoyed. If you do or did, slap that like button. I appreciate it a lot. And subscribe to the channel if you are new. Plenty of ranked play gameplay coming soon. And again, I'm going to try to get the stream going sometime later this week or this weekend. So yeah, stay on the lookout for that. Have a nice day. Peace. Where's my teammates? Oh my god, we just need 4 seconds. There we go. Let's go. 36 for the dub.
36 for the Jorge's W.
I'm out here, dude. At 36 and 14, man. I gotta leave a like for that, man.
My tokens, I can unlock it tonight. I'll probably buy it because I'll have enough tokens for